It's subtle yellow, like a bayou sunrise.
But it's green, Bobby.
That's an oxymoron.
Bobby, you're an oxymoron.
I'm attorney Mike Brandner. After you've been hurt in a car wreck, you're not sure what to do. The answer is simple. Call us first. The call is free, the consultation is free, the advice is free, and it could be in the difference between you getting a tiny check or getting a big check. The insurance company is not on your side and may begin to work against you the moment you call them. Call us first, 345-1111. We'll work hard to get you all the money you deserve.
Correct. Mike Brandner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
People's Health wants you to know that Medicare's open enrollment period is right now. For more information, call 1-855-821-2666 or visit peopleshealth.com. That's peopleshealth.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Your life, your hopes, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. It's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection, from the station you turn to when it counts. WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, now Ida Recovery Connection. We've made this running narrative of Big Lou. And, he's on number 2.
Right.
And he's on meds too.
Right.
I mean, you represented Big Lou's
wife.
I see him at the Caddy Shack. He's got a scratchy voice.
Uh-huh.
He's got a couple of chains.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sort of gawking at the bartenders.
Poor Big Lou. That's really a very pretty picture of him.
And I told I said you're going to be on number 3 if you spend any more time in the Caddy Shack.
Yeah, my vision of him is, since I represented his first wife, he's kind of flat.
Kind of flat?
Yeah, because I ran right over him.
You ran over him, huh? Yeah, that's why. I'm surprised he sponsors our show, because if he knew you were on there, he would.
Poor Big Lou. He's probably a really nice guy.
He's probably a great guy. We're just having fun with it. Oh, I want to tell you that we have a website, IdaHurricaneClaim.com. We have blogs on about every issue you would have on an insurance claim. Just any issue that you have, it's probably on there. So it's IdaHurricaneClaim.com. If you need any information and questions, you want to look up something quickly, how to respond to a claims adjuster, what's the law in place, some of the things you can do to document your claim. It's all there. So we just put a new blog up, and I guess I'll send it to WWL. They usually put it up too on their website.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you're a great writer, so they're very
simple.
Yes, they're simple. They're comprehensive and simple. So they to
the point. There's not a lot of that.
There's no legalese in it.
No legalese. No. When I do contracts now, I end up striking half the contract rather than doing anything more added to it, because it's just like the these and thous and wherefores.
You don't get rid of the whereas and all
the whereas. I do get rid of a lot of whereas and thereas. Yeah, a lot of it's just unnecessary. If you can say something in one word, why say it in 10?
Yeah, I like those whereases.
You like the whereases?
Yeah, I like the whereases.
So, like if you read an insurance policy, it says what you can say in one sentence in about a paragraph. A lot of them. Because
ours was pretty skinny when I went to go read it. I was looking for some whereases.
Yeah, that one, because it doesn't. I think our policy was more like a Yugo than a Cadillac.
I don't even think it was a Yugo.
I think it was probably a Yugo. The Cadillac's probably got a lot more to it there.
I would appreciate the Cadillac. So
yeah, well, they cost twice as much too.
that's why I'm looking at it without a roof.
Yeah, we got the roof again. What you wanted to talk about mediation, huh?
Yep, change that subject. Yep, I'm going to talk about mediation.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I think we had the owner of MAPS on a couple of weeks ago,
Joe Hassinger,
and he was explaining the mediation program put through by Jim Donnellan, and for claims that are 50,000 and below, that you can request mediation. It's an hour and a half.
Hour and a half,
90
minutes, right?
And it's a great way to try to resolve your claim without filing suit, and to try to help both parties to reach an agreement without getting into litigation, which is always good.
When you go into litigation, that's dead money.
It is dead money.
Because there's a lot of money that's spent, a lot of time that's spent that's not recoverable. And what's very interesting about mediation is that, heck, I know we did 300 maybe just with State Farm after Katrina in the span of 4 or 5 months. Mm-hmm. And it cuts through all the bull. And you get to the heart of the matter right away. Because if you've ever been in a deposition in a litigation, they ask you a lot of questions. They'll ask you, did you go to school with Abraham? Did you fall off of a swing set when you're 6 years old? They just ask you some. And when we were sitting, you sit through these depositions, and you're like, why are they asking me these questions? And a lot of times, the attorneys have a checklist that they have to read off of that the insurance company requires them to ask. And, and so it's a lot of, and then if you go to court, anybody who's been to court, if they really had true, accurate shows about lawyers, they would show us sitting on benches outside of court waiting for our case to be called, just sitting in the office writing,
sure.
Putting exhibits together. I don't think anybody would watch and would really care.
Especially the courtroom stuff. Last time I was in court last week, we sat there, and my client and I, from 9:30 to 12:30,
just waiting to be called.
Our case was finally called.
And our point in saying that, it's a lot of dead time. Anybody who's been in family court, if they had to go, they on a rule day, they might have 40 cases on the rule docket that day, and you sitting around hearing everybody else's issues before they get to you, and it might be after lunch. But my point with mediation is you don't have all that wasted time. You sort of get right to the issues and say, okay, here's the disputes, and here's our position, here's your position. And a lot of times in the mediation, it comes down to this. There's 3 buckets that you're dealing with. There's one bucket where everybody agrees this is hurricane damages and it needs to be addressed. Then there's another bucket where there's some type of problems with the house that the parties say, this isn't really hurricane related, and you don't pay for that. And then there's the middle bucket, which can go either way. You have a roof.
That middle bucket, that's the sticky bucket.
That's right. That's that middle bucket. Should I have my roof replaced, or should I have it repaired? Should the sheetrock come out, or can it be painted over? Does the floor come out, or can it be sanded down and repaired? Those type of issues. Is the air conditioning unit, does it have to be replaced, or can it be serviced? Those are the issues that it's not always clear. And it would be fair to say that when the insurance companies do their estimates, they don't put anything for the homeowner in that middle bucket. When you have public adjusters and attorneys, the attorneys like ourselves, we put everything in that middle bucket.
I like to put it in the bucket that there's no issues, but unfortunately they wind up moving it into the other bucket.
And that's the one you fight over. So I'll make it very simple. Let's say there's $25,000 in that first bucket. That's clearly hurricane damages. Well, you get that. If there's $25,000 in that other bucket that's not hurricane damages, you don't get that. And then let's say there's $50,000 in that middle bucket. Sometimes you sort of split that and resolve it.
Right.
So that's a very simplistic way of looking at it.
But it's a good way of looking at it. And then, sometimes to settle that middle bucket, I always tell people, don't only look at the money, but look at the stress and look at the time it'll take you to have to go get it.
And
see if it's worth
and that concept is duly endorsed by the retired magistrate and Shaw graduate,
Magistrate Wilkerson.
Magistrate Wilkerson. So, but that's how he only presided over 300,000 Katrina claims. So
that's just amazing.
I think he knows.
Yes. Yeah, I think he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming soon to Louisiana. It won't be long until you can bet on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving customers $100 in free bets when you sign up before they go live. No deposit required. DraftKings is bringing their experience as a leader in daily fantasy sports to the sports betting world and have created one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps. DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code BIG870 when you sign up. Those who sign up right now will get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Louisiana. That's code BIG870 to get $100 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867. 21 and over. Louisiana only. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
Ramsey's is paying the taxes on every item you purchase.
Up to $4,000.
Right now.
Today.
And if you buy your diamond separate from the ring,
we'll count that as 2 separate items.
Because we love you.
And our big 3-day engagement ring extravaganza
starts this Friday.
2,397 engagement rings.
928 wedding bands.
Come in and take a look.
We've got big engagement ring diamonds that are easily within your budget.
Okay, you're going to have about 4 minutes till the top of the hour break.
And exotic men's wedding bands from Mallow.
You've never seen anything like the wedding bands from Mallow.
You're going to leave here with a fabulous engagement ring.
Tax-free.
And with fabulous financing up to 60 months.
With approved credit.
And you're going to have a big, big diamond.
Welcome to Ramsey's.
Tax-free is happening right now.
And the engagement ring extravaganza starts this Friday.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers is the largest diamond store in Louisiana on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
Hi gang, Bob Breck here for Riverlands Insurance Services. Do you have Medicare questions? Understanding Medicare can be a challenge. My friends at Riverlands have a full staff of local and licensed representatives ready to help you choose your best plan. Since 1972, Riverlands Insurance has served the local community, and now they're ready to discuss Medicare with you. Call 504-217-7420. I trust Riverlands Insurance. You can too. Call 504-217-7420 or visit riverlandsinsurance.com.
New Orleans and Company's Fall Food Celebration is underway through November 18th. Sunday brunches and romantic tables filled with candlelight on a random weekday night. Outdoor dining with po' boys and beignets with Cafe Ole. Our grills are ready to prepare your favorite dish because some of the best moments of our lives are in our favorite restaurants. Make your reservations now and be part of the celebration of food that is New Orleans. Visit neworleans.com/Fall Food Celebration.
Get Diamonds Direct's unbeatable price plus an extra 20% off virtually everything. Yes! It's happening next weekend, November 19th through 21st. 3 days of spectacular store-wide savings. All rings, all earrings, all pendants, all bracelets, all on sale. This is the biggest and last sale of the year. The one where they break all the rules. The selection is like double the norm. Designers are here with their entire line. All at the absolute lowest prices of the year. Plus special financing. Next weekend. Details at diamondsdirect.com on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Do you want a pay raise and health insurance for you and your dependents at no additional cost? UA Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 60 here in New Orleans is looking for experienced plumbers, steamfitters, and apprentices of all levels. UA Local 60 is offering you a career, not a job. Make a good living while earning a pension to retire comfortably. Join an organization that puts its members and their families first. Call UA Local 60 now at 504-201-4102 or visit ualocal60.org.
Paid non-lawyer spokesperson. Business and homeowners, if your Hurricane Ida insurance claim has been denied or underestimated, legal help is available. Call the Erpino, Avon, and Hawkins Law Firm today. Call 504-525-1500. Responsible attorney Anthony Erpino, office in New Orleans.
Metropolitan Gastroenterology Associates is the premier choice in gastroenterology care.
Here we go.
Colonoscopy is recommended for all 45 and older. If you are 45 and up or have digestive issues, call 405-265-9574 or metrogi.com to schedule today.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida Recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. I'm going to ask you a question because we had this problem today.
Sure.
The insurance company indicates to send as many pictures, reports, and information as possible on the claim.
Okay.
So it's one of the insurance companies that you can only email. They have an integrated system where you only email and you have to put the claims number and the policy number in the reference line and they'll get it where they're supposed to.
Okay.
So we have one house that has major damage. Mm. We probably have a couple hundred pictures and a very extensive report. And every time we email it, it states that it doesn't have the capacity on its email to receive the information.
Why don't you do it in a Dropbox?
Yeah, we could do a Dropbox, but I don't know if it accommodates.
You could share it.
Yeah.
Share your folder. That's how I get big documents over.
But it would come out on a drop. Well, I guess you could use the link, huh? You could just put the link on.
Yeah, you can share it and it goes to Dropbox and they can open it.
On the link, huh? Or I know in Adobe you
can just share it and then they go to Dropbox and they open it. They can view it. You can make it view it or edit it. You can just view the whole folder. You can make that folder shareable.
I guess in that system they could do it because when you do it, you have to put it in a reference line. I guess, but also you can copy the link.
Copy the link. It's the same thing, but it's sharing the folder is just a little bit easier because
There you go.
Sharing the link, only the email that gets the link can open it. Whereas does that make sense?
Oh.
That's why, like, if somebody sent you a Dropbox link and you forward that, you can't open it because you don't have authority. It wasn't under your email.
Oh, okay. Well, what they do is it's the insurance company's name, and they say write the reference, the policy number, and the claims number in the reference, and they will forward that to the appropriate adjuster. So I was just thinking
would try that.
That was just sort of ironic. They tell you.
Well, because you can only send so many documents over by email if it's not compressed in like a zip file or a Dropbox or something.
How does a zip file work?
I don't really know. I know it compresses it.
Yes.
But I'm not quite. Listen.
We'll have to watch.
I told you the most.
We got children. We got 5 children, so we could ask one of them.
Yeah, but they're not real. I don't think any of them are super tech savvy.
On that?
Oh no. But anyway.
So, but I thought that was.
I was thinking you were talking about our claim because we sent all of our pictures and everything, and I think they flushed them down the toilet and just said, "Oh, your claim is worth nothing."
Yeah, we still got to get our contractor's estimate back.
Yeah, that roof.
And the roof. So we're gonna, and then we'll hang the insurance company. No, we'll get the guy. He spent 4 hours here, and he gave us a very.
He sounded like.
I don't want to use the word
favorable.
No,
fair.
No, I was going to use the cruddy. I was going to something.
Oh, you mean the report afterwards?
Yeah, it was very low. It was very
low.
But it's a full contact sport, like we said.
I got my helmet. I'm ready.
So we just got to put our helmet on and we got to get after it. We've just been so busy doing everybody else's. We got to get around to doing ours.
I know. At least we don't have a hole in our roof anymore. So
no. So we could see. I could see the crescent moon at night when I wake up or when we go to sleep. But it just needed a patch. Just needed a patch. All right. Well, that's hour number 1 in the Ida Recovery Connection. We're only on on Tuesday nights. And then we're off the next 2 Sundays for All Things Legal. We'll be back on the 28th, which is after the Bills game, who plays on Thanksgiving night. So stay tuned for national news, local news, and we'll be back on the Ida Recovery Connection right after this time out.
The News Talk Sports Leader, WWL New Orleans, WWL FM and HD1 Kenner New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper at CBS News. In a legal setback for the former President Trump, a judge has ruled that the House committee investigating the U.S. Capitol attack can access some of Mr. Trump's White House records. This comes on the same day that the committee has issued subpoenas to 10 members of the former president's inner circle. More from CBS's Christopher Cruz.
The committee is now targeting officials who were especially close to the former president, including Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and senior advisor Stephen Miller, who created some of the Trump administration's most controversial immigration policies. The committee wants documents within 2 weeks, and depositions are scheduled throughout December.
Pfizer asks the FDA to expand who's eligible to receive the company's COVID-19 booster shot.
The Pfizer request, if approved, would give the green light for every American adult to get a COVID booster. CBS's Dr. David Agus.
As time has gone on, I think there's more and more evidence that we need booster shots for the majority of the country.
In September, the Food and Drug Administration gave the go-ahead for the booster to be given to those 65 and older and those at higher risk. The FDA now says it will review the Pfizer application as expeditiously as possible. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
CBS's Lilia Luciano says the lawsuits are piling up after Friday's deadly music festival crowd surge in Houston.
Investigators are combing through the concert site, examining fences aimed at crowd control, which as the crowd surged became death traps. Attorney Benjamin Crump represents the family of Ezra Blunt.
He has severe brain damage, severe kidney damage, severe liver damage. It's going to take a miracle.
The U.S. Supreme Court has heard arguments on whether Texas must agree to death row inmate John Ramirez's request to allow a chaplain to touch and pray with him during his execution. Loyola Law Professor Jessica Levinson.
What you heard with the conservative justices is that they were very skeptical of Mr. Ramirez's claim. They were asking, frankly, if his religious beliefs were sincerely held.
The prosecution rests in the Wisconsin trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. CBS's Nancy Chen also says one of the charges against the teen was thrown out.
At the defense's request, the judge did dismiss one of the charges Rittenhouse is facing, a count of violating curfew because of insufficient evidence presented by the state. 6 charges do remain, including first-degree intentional homicide. If convicted of homicide, Rittenhouse could face life in prison.
It was a scheme that defrauded investors of a San Francisco Bay Area solar energy company out of $1 billion. Now owner Jeff Karpoff has been sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. His wife faces up to 15 years. The two also agreed to forfeit more than $120 million in assets. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect it is with an accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
WWL First News. I'm Chris Miller on your official weather station, WWL, AMFM.com.
Headed out this evening and tonight, we'll stay under the mostly cloudy skies with the high clouds that rolled in earlier today, likely sticking with us through the overnight. Cool, but not quite as chilly as we had been overnight and for early tomorrow morning. Evening and nighttime temperatures dropping into the 60s to 50s and likely waking up into the 50s and low 60s to start the day on Wednesday. High around 77 Wednesday, 81 on Thursday.
More coming up in WWL TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin's local weather expert forecast. New Orleans made it official today. Mardi Gras 2022 is happening. Mayor's office spokesman Bo Tidwell made the announcement at City Hall. He says, barring any catastrophic changes in the COVID pandemic numbers, parades will roll. He cautioned, however, indoor fun will require a vaccine card or negative test results.
If you want to go to a bar, if you want to go to a restaurant, you need to be able to show your proof of vaccination or negative test.
Tidwell says that includes access to venues for Mardi Gras balls. Officials are still working out specifics for parade routes and police deployment. NOPD is investigating a double shooting in the 1900 block of Toro Street, happened around 4 this afternoon. A couple of hours earlier, there was a triple shooting in the 1300 block of Bienville. A sergeant with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is recovering after cracking his skull on the pavement at a West Bank gas station, trying to take a suspect into custody. Sheriff Joe Lapinto says deputies were called to Manhattan and the West Bank Expressway because of people disrupting traffic. One of them was standing on top of an SUV. When the sergeant climbed up to convince the man to come down, a scuffle ensued, and the lawman fell and hit the back of his head on the pavement. He's now recovering at University Medical Center.
We have 3 adults, 3 juveniles in custody at this point in time. We're able to make arrests on all of them.
The sheriff said 6 were disrupting traffic at the corner of Manhattan Boulevard and the West Bank Expressway, saying they were among the, quote, idiots deputies sometimes have to deal with. Some delinquent renters are reportedly taking emergency rental assistance money and running.
Okay, we have one holding here. In fact, his name is Raymond. He's from New Orleans.
Renters in the depths of the pandemic. But Clerk of New Orleans First City Court Austin Badon told WWL's Tommy Tucker that some renters are now reportedly not using the money to pay back rent.
My biggest concern is that this catches on like wildfire.
Badon says the feds won't pay landlords whose tenants already received money, and criminal charges are not an option.
If the money has already been given out and a tenant has absconded with the money, now you got to file a civil case.
Matt Doyle.
Where's Raymond from?
WWL First News.
New Orleans.
Civil action.
I believe New Orleans East.
Cases, because to take someone to civil court, you have to service them, and to serve them, you got to know where they are. The Louisiana Department of Health today reports 474 new cases of coronavirus, 27 more COVID-19 deaths. Hospitalizations are up after several weeks of declines at 229.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
We got Raymond.
Tomorrow, temperatures will be dropping into the 50s for a morning low and then mid to upper 70s for an afternoon high under mostly cloudy skies. 81 degrees and a few stray showers and a bit more humid on Thursday. That's in advance of a cold front. Cold front moves through. High temperatures into the lower 70s for Friday. A surge of colder air arrives on Saturday with highs struggling in the upper 50s to low 60s. Very pleasant Sunday as we stay under mostly sunny skies and highs into the upper 60s after a morning start in the 30s and 40s. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
I'm Chris Miller, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sinceri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. Oh, no, the Ida Recovery Connection. This is not Sunday morning. It is Tuesday night.
It feels like Sunday morning.
After getting your head knocked in for a couple of days in court, and do your second job.
Oh, it's been so much fun.
You do your second job.
Is it Friday yet?
No, it feels like Friday.
It should be.
Good LSU news. LSU basketball beat Louisiana Monroe 101-39. Darius Days had 30 points.
Is it basketball season?
Yeah.
When did that start?
Today.
Don't blink.
Will Wade. Will Wade seems to be day to day. So I hope he makes it through the year. He's a good coach. He's just got to learn how to say things without saying it.
He's in trouble again?
Well, they had the tape of him saying that he made one of the players a strong blank offer. And the difference between him and other coaches is the other coaches know how to say something without saying it. Edwin Edwards was brilliant at that.
Yeah.
Edwin could say something and not say it, but you knew exactly what he meant.
Sure.
The technique learned from Tony Soprano or Vito Corleone, so you just sort of say it, but you don't say it. Yes.
You refer to Vito
Yes.
a lot. I would love to see him.
Oh, well, I knew him when I grew up.
Oh, you did?
He was just part of the family. Vito. No. Every family in New Orleans that had a...
What does Vito look like?
He looks like he's probably a little stocky, thin mustache, very
Doesn't
deliberate.
look like Big Lou, huh?
He's Italian version of Big Lou. He's not as loud. He's a lot more measured. But anybody whose name ended in a vowel back in the day probably had somebody like Vito in their family.
Oh. Yeah, we didn't end in a vowel. We didn't have any vetoes. We had other things, but no vetoes.
Vito. Just ask him for a favor, and he saw it, do a favor. Now, if you have to do a business interruption claim for a veto organization, they get upset because they want you to include the money they laundered in the business interruption claim.
But somehow it's not making it on their books, huh?
No, so you have to explain to them and say, no, you cannot claim the money that you laundered in your business interruption claim. You just can't do that.
That's funny.
Let's go to phone lines. Let's go to Raymond. He's got a question. Hey, Raymond, you're on the Recovery Connection. What you got for us, brother?
Hey, Doug. We used you, me and my wife, after Katrina. Had a great success. Hopefully, I won't have to use you again.
Well, look, you listen to us. You won't have to. You can.
Different insurance company. So we got a check last week.
Cash it.
And when we got the check, I asked my wife. I said, "Well, where is what they're paying for?" Because it was just lump sum that they gave us.
Yeah.
Now, the adjuster was at the home for a while, so he took hundreds of pictures and all, because we have a 2-story home and had damage not only in the roof, but ceiling came down in my son's room and had damage in the den because the doors flew open and all. So anyway, I wanted to find out, the question I have is, and I talked to the adjuster, and he said we're supposed to get a report, itemizing what they paid for.
Mm-hmm.
But the question I have is, since we had, both structural damage and content damage, wouldn't they send a separate check for the content?
Yeah, well, yes, they would, because a lot of times they would send it because the mortgage company would not be on the contents check, where sometimes they'll...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the check we got had, our names on it as well as the mortgage company.
Right, so that's structure.
So we had to send the check to them. Right, we had to send the check to them, and waiting for them to do their thing.
You want me to tell you what's happening?
My wife was saying, excuse me?
Yeah, what did your wife say? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, no, I was asking my wife. I said, well, from what I understand, normally they would send a content check because it's different than anything that the mortgage company would own. So I wanted to find out because I did get a website from the adjuster to go to, and he said that everything would be itemized as to what they paid for. So we're going to go on the website, but I was just curious because normally, like you said, since the contents aren't part of with the mortgage as far as the house is concerned, then we should have gotten a separate check for that. We never did.
I'll tell you what's happening. Some companies are so backlogged that they're getting the money out before they get the claim summary, because they want to get you the money sooner to mitigate the issue of being late, penalties, and attorney's fees. But they don't have the claim summary administratively ready to kick out. So what I would think is, you're going to get a claim summary via email or in the mail pretty soon. But they wanted to get you the money out because they was afraid, they didn't want to hold it up because they were maybe concerned about being late. So it's okay to cash the check, but you should get a claim summary basically with detailing what they paid for. So like on your contents list, when you get a check, they'll say it should detail, let's say if you put down your TV as being $800, they'll say, well, we only paid you $500. Maybe they reduced it due to depreciation or what have you. So they should have a line item.
Veterans, et cetera. Yeah. Okay.
So you should get a
That's
claim
no
summary.
question.
Yeah, you should get one.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Doug. I appreciate y'all.
All right,
Thanks.
right.
Have a great evening.
All right, and cash that check. It's
You
okay
too.
to cash the check. You know, and we still get calls every week, every day, every week, stating the insurance company deposited X in our account or they sent us a check, but I didn't agree to that amount, and I don't want to, I don't want to cash the check, and I don't want it. And I said, no, it's okay to cash the check. It's an unconditional tender. Let me tell you what happened to me today also about unconditional tenders. We had submitted a business interruption claim for a very popular establishment on the North Shore.
I know which one.
You know what you're talking about. And it was very interesting. I had an conversation. We put in a claim for X. They paid us about 25% of X, which is lowball. So when they called and they sent us a letter saying, this is our estimate. So we said, all right, well, we wrote back, said, well, pay us what's uncontested. And so we wrote it back and they said, do you agree to this? And I responded again, pay what's uncontested. I'm not telling you. And so then I get an email and I called the email. I said,
you called the email or you called the author of the email?
I called the author. That's what y'all would say in Dominican, the author of the email. Well, we would say at the La Salle is the dude on the email. and I said, oh, do we have a communication problem?
Oh, that's how you started off?
I sort of said that. Yeah. I was chippy. I was chippy today. I had a bad couple of days in court, especially yesterday.
You were chippy.
And so I said, problem. I said, my email said, pay what's undisputed. He said, I want to find out if you agree to this. I said, no. I said, pay me what's undisputed. I said, we're having a problem here. So then I said, you know the law that you have to pay what's undisputed. That's what I want you to do. And we'll talk about everything else later. And finally he says, because I was polite.
You were polite, respectful, and kind?
No, I wasn't kind, but I was polite and respectful.
Oh, okay.
You
were polite, respectful, and chippy?
And chippy. And I said, he said, I'm sorry. He says, I have to read off the script.
No.
Yeah, he did. He said, I have to see if I can get you to agree to that amount. And I said, and that's where understanding what the law is helps.
Sure.
Is that, no, I'm not agreeing to this. I'm agreeing to the fact that I'm going to cash what you're going to take me. But you know
how many people would have probably said that had they not known because they think that they're...
Right, what they would have done is they'll say, you agree to it. You agree to it, and they were going to send you a release saying you agree to this.
Right.
But part of their script was to try to get the policyholder to agree to the deficient amount that they're paying. And I said, no. I said, absolutely not. I said, look. I said, if you don't want to pay what's undisputed, I'll get more from you later. So you decide what you want to do. And I was sort of goading him a little bit. And
this is the adjuster?
The adjuster. And he acknowledged that he's going to pay it.
Oh, good.
But that was part of the, hey, I want you to agree to it. And if you agree to it, sign off on this. That's what was going to be next. But I was telling him, if that's what your calculation, which I don't agree with, but we all agree that you owe something, and that's what you agree to, think you owe, pay it. And
I would have even been chippier and would have confirmed the conversation in his statement that he's reading off of a.
Well, if that will be discoverable if it ever comes.
No, that's why I would have done it.
So it's just a very interesting, and I think that's the nuance that you could learn here is they have to pay what's undisputed. Now, I think when they do a lot of these readjustments and say, okay, we're going to pay for your roof, we want you to agree to it. You're going to say, well, I agree to the fact that you're going to pay it and I'm going to cash it, but I'm not closing this out. I still have disagreements and I fully intend to pursue them. And so it's just.
They're just
It's
hoping they
fair.
don't get a lawyer on the phone and they're getting somebody who doesn't really know the law. And then what they'll do is they'll then hold you to it.
Right. Well, and I'm telling you, been doing this 33 years, I learn something new every day. I don't pretend to know everything about
What'd you
everything.
learn new today?
What did I learn today specifically? I'll get back with you on that. I meant that figuratively. But I learned everything.
Well, I would have learned that they really follow a script. You always think they do.
Yeah,
But do they really?
Yeah, he says, I'm reading off the script.
Yeah.
He says, I'm reading off
Gotta
the script
love
as to
that.
what I need to do.
You're in good
All right.
hands.
It wasn't that insurance company, though. It was another one. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demarest Sinceri, and the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back on WWL AM, FM, Odyssey.com. We'll be back right after this time out.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert.
Okay, we got ZipRecruiter, which will be the last one on here. No callers or holders.
Catch Sports Talk with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. Then game day, turn up the home team. WWL.
What a year. End it on a high note with a gift of emeralds, sapphires, rubies, pearls, or, of course, natural diamonds from Oak Heart Jewelers. Choose from a stunning selection of rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces in every price range. Like we've said for years, there's a great work of art in every box from Oak Heart. Listen to this online review from Jade in New Orleans. The store is always so warm and inviting, and the people instantly make me feel like I'm part of the family. It also doesn't hurt that they have an incredible range of beautiful jewelry. Jade's so right. What could compare to an exclusive design from our award-winning Oak Heart Master Craftsmen? We search the world for design inspiration and for those standout gorgeous gemstones. We then buy them direct at the lowest possible price. Gemstones from Thailand, Brazil, India, Australia, all around the world. Now part of the Oak Heart collection. Make this year exceptional. In a good way, with a gift from Oak Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Rory Richard from right here in Louisiana, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth, because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough. I discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Platinum Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-259-3131 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-259-3131. That's 1-800-259-3131. Again, 1-800-259-3131.
I'm former NBA player Don Chaney. For years, I had carpal tunnel syndrome and joint pain. Then I started having heart-related symptoms like fatigue and palpitations. Turns out I had heart failure caused by hereditary transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare, life-threatening disease underdiagnosed in African Americans. If you're African American and over 50 with heart failure experiencing unresolved symptoms, talk to your doctor or visit DonKnowsHisHeart.com.
Brought to you by Pfizer. Still searching for a meaningful career with a company you can grow with? Great news! Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant is hiring. Positions include cooks, servers, and bartenders, with starting pay up to $13 an hour. Benefits include student loan reimbursement, child care reimbursement, 401k, and health insurance. If you truly stand out among your peers, then Bobby Hebert's Cajun Cannon Restaurant wants to talk to you. Apply online at BobbyHeberts.com or stop by the restaurant on Veterans in Metairie.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sinceri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demmer Sinceri, and Ida Recovery Connection. WWL, AM, FM, Odyssey.com. You can also check us out on our Facebook page. I forgot to ask you during the break, did you call your NFL contacts to find out how the Odell Beckham negotiations are coming?
I didn't make a
with the
call.
Saints?
I didn't make a call this week.
You
I've
didn't
been
call
busy in court. No,
Huh? You didn't call?
I didn't call.
All
I'm
right.
sorry.
Call Gruden.
I
He's
will.
got a little time on his
I will.
hands.
He's got plenty of time on his You're
Let's
so
see.
funny.
I think they're going to make a run at him.
You do?
Yeah, I think so. Look, okay, first of all, there was a text about a hurricane
Forgot about
website.
that.
We have a website that has blogs on every hurricane issue that you could possibly have. It's idahurricaneclaim.com. Easy.
Hmm?
Ida Hurricane Claim, singular.com. You go there, it'll have a bunch of blogs with every different subject matter, and you can look it up, and you can, like in the last segment.
Can they post a question on the website, or can they just email you?
They could email us on the website, and we've gotten a few emails in our Facebook, and we got a text right here. You want to read the?
Sure, and they're interesting because they don't come up in order.
Yeah, you have to. They come up funky, but
it says my adjuster projected that 19 squares of shingles were damaged, but my roofer replaced a total of 22 squares, which was 100% of the roof. The bathroom had interior water damage on the ceiling and behind the tub surround. The total amount sent was only enough to cover the entire roof replacement. Should I pay for all bathroom repairs out of pocket and then beg for more money from insurance, or should I get a quote from my renovation company and send that quote to the insurance and ask for the quoted amount?
well, you could do it either way. First of all, the initial part is about the
So what happened is he used all of his money for the roof.
right. Well, they paid for 19 squares,
right,
and he had 22. So first of all, you can get the difference between the 3 extra squares, and they can't say that only 19 squares were damaged, not 22, because that's where this territory, whether you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, you can't be 19 out of 22% pregnant. So you're pregnant. So you got to have a replacement. So they got to pay for the extra money it costs for the replacement of the roof. Number one. Number two, as far as the best thing to do is if you hadn't done the work and you need the money before you can do the work, then you send the estimate. But the best way to do it is if you can afford, is to do the work and bill, because there's always some argument over an estimate as to pricing.
Right.
There's not an argument as to pricing once you paid for it, because it is what it is, and they have to pay for it. So you could do it either way. So if you can't, most people have a hard time paying for the repairs first and, quote, begging from the insurance company. But that's the best way. And the insurance company knows that they have less of a defense to that, and they're more likely to pay under those circumstances because they can sort of refute an estimate, saying, well, the unit costs are too high, the labor costs are too high, the material costs are too high. But once you do it, the price is set. So what I would do is I would get a comprehensive estimate of the total job, and then subtract out what was paid and ask the insurance company for the difference. Email it to them in a way that you can verify receipt, and the clock starts running. And they'll have to pay what's undisputed. And if you already paid for it, then it's hard for them to dispute
Right.
the price. Now they could say, well, you
Well, they could say
upgraded.
you could have paid. You didn't have to replace. You could have repaired.
Right. Well, but once you pay for it, they know it's harder for them to defend that. It just is. So very, very good question. And we have another question from Michael in Springfield, and he said, "What is the threshold for where the mortgage company will be listed as a co-payee?"
That's a good question.
Great question. It's really up to the mortgage company. Anytime that you pay, issue.
You mean up to the insurance company?
No, it's up to the mortgage company because sometimes it's up to the insurance company too.
Well, if they don't put the name on the check, so when do they put their name on the check and when do they not? I
think that's from insurance company to insurance company.
Yeah, because we got the peanuts they sent us didn't have the
right, and then but I've seen a few substantial payments for $30,000 or $40,000 without the mortgage company.
That would be great.
Then I've seen some with $10,000 with the mortgage company.
Right.
So I think it's up to the insurance company.
What's your take this go around on mortgage companies, voluntarily signing over the checks? I know we've had some issues in the past.
I haven't heard as many problems than there was during Katrina, but we're still early in the process.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
So I'm not sure. I know the out-of-town mortgage companies are a little more difficult to deal with. Mr. Cooper, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I'm not saying they have the problem, but like this company, Mr. Cooper, I think they're based out of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
There's where as opposed to a local mortgage company is different. Like Tommy Tucker is always talking about Fidelity because they're here.
There's a local branch.
And what I used to tell to people in Katrina was when you had maybe like a national company that had local branches, I would say go in the lobby and complain. Don't complain enough where the security guard comes and pulls you out, but loud enough where the other customers would hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if I would be doing that these days.
No, I know you can't have that.
No,
you would do that because
the times are different.
And then the bank officer, sit down. Okay, what's the problem? Let me help you here.
Yeah, I don't think that would fly these days.
No, they're liable to put you in.
And
they'll
cancel
time you out, and they'll cancel you, and you won't be able to tweet on Twitter and Facebook. They'll take you out there too. But I used to tell them that. Well, my point being is they're local, and you hit personal relationships. But like I don't think Wells Fargo doesn't have any really local branches.
Think so.
And sometimes it's more difficult because when you call the customer service rep, you have to sort of start all over and say so I sent my repairs in. I sent the proof of payment. I need the money.
Right.
The other thing I'd suggest when dealing with the mortgage company, if you're not getting anywhere with the customer service rep, say, I'd like to speak to your supervisor.
So what are people doing? Just putting the check in the mail and saying, here's my check?
Yeah, and they put it in an escrow account.
Yeah.
Some will send it back. Some will keep it in an escrow account and say, show us proof of the repairs. If it's a larger check, they'll break it out. Like if you got paid for a total loss or close to a total loss for 6 figures, they'll say, well, we'll do this in stages. But maybe for $10,000 to $15,000, they'll just say, well, we'll just cut it loose. But that's a case by case basis, bank by bank basis. I mean, we had from the 2016 flood in Baton Rouge, which believe it or not, we still have cases pending. I'm not going to say why because
they'll cancel you.
The judges up there will cancel me if I say what I think. But what I think we had issues with that in a lot of contexts, and we had to sue the bank, and they eventually paid, and they paid for some cost on top of that. But that's to be seen. I think the technology is a little better than Katrina. Back in Katrina, people did a lot of corresponding by telephone. It wasn't as much of an email centric.
In 2005?
Not compared till today.
Oh.
You were more apt to get on the phone than you are
email?
Yeah. So, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But that's a very good question. Thanks, Michael.
And we have another text.
Yes.
It says, can you request recoverable depreciation as each major item is done? Example, roof done, but inside repairs will be much later. We want to get the roof and resubmit later.
Yes.
You
could. Yeah, you should do that. And when you finish a certain portion, like your roof, send a picture of your roof. Send the receipts that you paid for it. And they should cut it back. And if they don't, you keep emailing them to make a record.
There you go.
Because they owe it back to you, and if they don't get it back to you, they could be in what is known as in bad faith. And if you're in bad faith in court, you get attorney's fees and penalties. There you go.
And
Document. All right, I hear the music. That's late night music here. Let's go to break. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri. Now, Ida Recovery Connection, WWL, AM, FM, Odyssey.com. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Every Friday at 4 p.m., the countdown to the football weekend officially begins with Deuce McAllister and me, Mike Hoss. Join us for Fans and the Pros as we break down all the games, from the Saints' next opponent and key matchups in the NFC South to LSU's next battle and big clashes in the SEC. We'll make
Okay, Duck goes the last spot of the set.
Fans out there who bleed black and gold.
No one holding yet.
Hoss and Deuce, Fans and the Pros, Fridays, 4 to 7 p.m. here on WWL.
Have you been lied to? Lied to by Washington politicians and the Wall Street propaganda machine? Hi, this is best-selling author Rory Richard from right here in Louisiana, and I want to give you a free copy of my new book, Crash Proof Wealth. Because according to Time magazine, Wall Street's retirement plans and 401ks have failed millions of Americans. After seeing the last market crash over 39%, I said enough. I've discovered a way to grow money potentially double digits, reduce taxes dramatically, and also have my money protected when the next stock market crash hits. When the next market crash hits, you lose nothing. Call Platinum Financial now to get a free copy of my book and talk to me personally to discover this little-known strategy to get potential double-digit growth during good years and never lose when the next stock market crash hits. Call 1-800-259-3131 to discover this asset that people like Walt Disney and JCPenney used to grow wealthy. And I'll even cover shipping and handling. No credit card required. Call 1-800-259-3131. That's 1-800-259-3131. Again, 1-800-259-3131.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino with more good news just for you. Now when you come and play any of your favorite slots or table games here at the Slipper, any day in October, November, and December, you'll have a chance to win an HD Smart Fire TV every night at 7 p.m. That's right, we're giving away one of these great smart TVs every day for 3 months. We're on the beach here in Hancock County, Silver Slipper Casino. As always, we are proud to be your host on the coast.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Louisiana Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin.
Saturday is Election Day. This is a statewide election, and everyone in Louisiana has something on their ballot. If you live in an area affected by Hurricane Ida, visit geauxvote.com or call 800-883-2805 for information on absentee ballots, polling place changes, and election dates and deadlines. I'm Secretary of State Kyle Ardoin, reminding you to go vote.
At Mike Brenner Injury Attorneys, we know that car wrecks don't keep regular business hours, and neither do we. If you've been hurt in a wreck after 5 p.m., don't wait until tomorrow to get the help you need right now. We have people standing by, ready to take your call, ready to give you free advice, and ready to help you get the medical attention you need. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to call an attorney. Call me, Mike Bradner. We're the 24/7 injury attorneys, and we're available to get you the help you need right now.
Hurt in the wreck, Mike Brenner's the one. Call 345-1111.
Results may vary. Offices in Metairie and Hammond.
Get Diamonds Direct's unbeatable price, plus an extra 20% off virtually everything. Yes! It's happening next weekend, November 19th through 21st. 3 days of spectacular store-wide savings. All rings, all earrings, all pendants, all bracelets, all on sale. This is the biggest and last sale of the year. The one where they break all the rules. The selection is like double the norm. Designers are here with their entire lines, all at the absolute lowest prices of the year, plus special financing. Next weekend. Details at diamondsdirect.com on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Since 1935, the Allstate Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. And for 87 years, the Sugar Bowl has hosted top-ranked teams, All-Americans, and national champions. New Year's Day, the tradition continues as the best of the Big 12 and SEC square off in the 88th All-State Sugar Bowl. Get your seats today. Visit allstatesugarbowl.org for tickets. The Sugar Bowl, presented by Allstate, the Louisiana Office of Tourism, and Taco Bell.
People's Health wants you to know that Medicare's open enrollment period is right now. For more information, call 1-855-821-2666 or visit peopleshealth.com. That's peopleshealth.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad.
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind. Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? No matter your learning style or experience level, Babbel has lessons designed for you that will get you speaking quickly and confidently. I tried learning Spanish before, but I couldn't stick with it until I found Babbel.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
I can't wait to use our new language skills on our upcoming adventures. Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Your life.
Okay, here
your
we go.
hopes. And whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., it's really none of our business, and it shouldn't be anyone else's. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sinceri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. You know, we're not going to be on All Things Legal this Sunday because the Saints take on the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Game day coverage starts at 8 a.m. Join Saints sideline reporter Steve Geller and De La Salle's own Scott Alexander on the Fans First Take. At 10 o'clock, the Bud Light Countdown to kick off with Bobby Hebert and Christian Garrick featuring Mike Detillier. And kickoff is at noon. Join the voice of the Saints, Mike Haas, and Saints color analysis, Deuce McAllister, better known as the Moose and the Deuce, and sideline reporter Steve Geller. Then after the game, sound off with the Cajun Cannon and Christian on the point after till 6, the flagship station of New Orleans Saints, WWL. So there you go, the Saints and the Titans. You know, the Titans were once the Houston Oilers.
Really? I didn't
You didn't know that?
Well, I guess I did. I forgot.
They moved, I think, in 1994.
How are they doing this year?
Good. They're very good. They got Mike Berryville as a coach. They lost Derrick Henry. They signed Adrian Peterson. They're just a tough team. They made an image of their coach. So they're good. I had about 3 or 4 players who played for Oilers in the 90s. So I liked they ran the run and shoot at the time, which was about 4 wide receivers, running back, and no tight end. And they were great between Warren Moon was the quarterback. They were great between the 20s, but they had a hard time inside the 20s. Yeah. And they had the Buffalo Bills had the largest comeback in NFL history from Frank Wright. They were up 35-3 in the third quarter, and they lost. What was it, 41-38?
Wow.
But the problem was they ran a run and shoot, and they couldn't take off time at the end of they couldn't run the ball and take off time. So, you know, they would when they would stop possession, they'd have 2 or 3 incompletes. They only burned about 20-30 seconds off the clock, and Buffalo came storming back. Now, as you know, Frank Wright is the coach of the Indianapolis Colts, right?
Right.
You knew that.
I did.
So, but that's the Oilers. I think about Baum. I love you, Baum. Back in the late 70s, I liked him with the Saints. He was got close. Was very close to beating the LA Rams in the last game of the 83 season.
He had a big personality.
Oh, he was a kick. He was great. Very great. He was great. Just loved him. All right. We're talking about roofs. We're talking about mediation. We're talking about documentation.
Document.
And if, again, you can go to idahurricaneclaim.com. Understanding, I'll tell you this, if the insurance company understands that you understand what's going on and, what's accessible or not, you will get a different result.
Where do you think most people are right now?
Trying to figure out how to quantify their claim and what to do next. I got lowballed. I got to pull these claims together. What do I do next? Some are frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Some are really frustrated.
Yeah, most people that I've talked to are either waiting for a roofer, waiting for, stuff to be fixed. They can't even get anybody out there. I mean, I think there's a huge shortage on just labor.
Labor and supplies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, insulation's gold right now.
I know.
Roofing tiles are gold. And a lot of people are asking, do you know contractors who can help me? And our contractor, Mr. William,
he's out till
I said, Mr. William, you need referrals? He said, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He can't even get to my brother-in-law until after the 1st.
Yeah, so it's just it takes patience, but they're saying, well, how do we pull this together? What do we do next? How do we quantify damages? And it's a real struggle. And I think a lot of times too, people are worn out by the labor involved.
It's a full-time job.
It is. It's labor intensive.
It is.
Is the way,
It is.
And I think maybe we talk about, and I think a lot of people ask, when should I hire an attorney or hire help? And I think there's several stages. I always tell people, try to get as much money as you can on your own, because when you get help, the help's going to take a percentage of the new money that you receive after you already receive. So make sure that you get money that you're going to get anyway in your pocket, and then you get help. Either some people feel like they just don't have the emotional capacity to do it anymore. Maybe because, they might be a single mom who's working, or, they're in a life situation they don't, or they just feel a high level of discomfort trying to pull it all together.
Or you don't even have to be a single mom. I mean, listen, you and I work full time. It's hard to adjust our own claim.
Right, because we're adjusting everybody else's.
But if you're working and you're working full time, it's hard to.
It's hard to. Right.
It's hard to. This is a job.
It is a job. And then if you're doing, if your kids are playing ball and you have activities, it's hard to set across the time. So if you feel like you don't have the time and you just need someone else to handle it and you're willing to pay for it, not pay for it, you pay for it in the back end.
Right.
Or definitively, which I don't think we're at yet, it's probably be in the spring and the summer, is when you feel like that the insurance company is absolutely not going to pay another penny. If you're just 100% convinced. And there's really nothing to lose, because most of the attorneys who do these hurricane claims, you don't have to put money up front. They'll front the money, and if you're not successful, you wouldn't owe any cost.
Right.
So you could do that, or you could get a claim, a public adjuster. They're very good at quantifying the damages.
Let me ask you this: when would you suggest that people go to mediation?
When all the ducks in a row, whenever that is.
Yeah, and I think
but early as you can, but you have to have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah, and that was one of the things we went over
with Joe.
With Joe is that you have to have going to mediation is a way not to go to trial, but you still have to be prepared. You can't show up with just yourself and say just because.
One of the things that when you go to a mediation, and maybe someone who's not prepared may not have an attorney, you can't go to mediation on the what ifs and speculation. You have to bring it.
You have to bring your documentation.
You have to bring photographs, your estimates. You can't speak in it. Court. If you try to talk about in court in speculation and possibilities, they'll run you out.
Right.
Well, they run us out and attorneys out if we don't bring it. And So when you do go to mediation, you have to have all your ducks in a row, but go as soon as you can after you have the ducks in a row. But you can't go in there saying, "Well, I'm sure I could get a contractor to give this estimate, or I'm sure I could get a roofer who will say I need a new roofer."
A new roof.
What did I say?
A new roofer.
It is now 9:49.
I was about to say it's 9:49.
And I'm in hour 16 between practicing law and doing radio. So have mercy on me. Have mercy on me.
I'm giving you a pass.
Yes. But you're very good at pointing out my
It's just because I love you so much.
Shortcomings.
I just want you to be the best.
If you did this for Buddy DiLiberto, he wouldn't get a word in edgewise. You'd be like, "Buddy, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's incorrect."
I don't tell you it's wrong.
No, it's pronounced. You said "got."
I know. It's just it's what I do.
You do. That's what you do. I would love to tell my buddy story.
I know.
I don't know if I could say that on radio.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. But it was funny. I don't know if we still have the tape. But he transposed a few words that
were
really
very interesting.
That were very interesting. So, which I gladly carry on that tradition. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sinceri and Michelle Demmer Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after our final timeout.
DraftKings Sportsbook is coming soon to Louisiana. It won't be long until you can bet on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your own home. To celebrate, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving customers $100 in free bets when you sign up before they go live. No deposit required. DraftKings is bringing their experience as a leader in daily fantasy sports to the sports betting world and have created
We're going live after 3 very short ones right at the end.
All right.
DraftKings Sportsbook. Download
How much
the
we're going to
DraftKings
have? About
Sportsbook app now and
6
use
minutes?
code BIG870.
Yeah, you're going to have about that.
Right now, we'll get $100 in free bets to use once mobile sports betting hits Louisiana. That's code BIG870 to get $100 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-770-STOP. 7867. 21 and over. Louisiana only. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
Napa know-how. When you buy the Napa bag for 99 cents, you'll get 20% off 3 or more items. No other bag saves you 20% on wipers, premium oil, headlamps, and more, which makes the Napa bag the best bag in the world. Sorry, handbags, man bags, punching bags, bagpipes, and even you. Bags under the eyes. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations does not include taxes and fees. Advertised sale price not available in some states.
No, I don't
Offer
have
ends
man
11/30/21.
No
On
man
the
bag.
battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by.
That generation.
Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal.
Mike
Wounded Warrior Project was created to help armed men and women return to
FYI,
home with the
employee
scars
retention
of
credit
war,
repeal for
whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever.
That's something to do.
Learn more about what we do.
Start making all your payroll deposits.
So here we go again. Since Hurricane Katrina, the insurance companies have been raising our premiums and raising our deductibles. But now when we need our insurance payments to rebuild our homes and rebuild our lives, they're denying our claims and lowballing our estimates. This is Albert Nico, the Nico and Sinceri Law Firm in Metairie. Let us put our team of licensed contractors, roofers, and public adjusters to work for you so you can get your home and life back in order. Call me, Albert Nico, at 504-837-1304, and I'll make your insurance company accountable.
Can you pick winners? Well, then you can win cash. It's that simple. In the Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup, just pick the most games right this week, and you can score $1,000. Just like that. No lineups, no spreads, no rosters, and a brand new game each week. The Rocket Mortgage Pro Football Pickup. It's totally free to play, so enter now by texting PICS to 20357. That's PICS to 20357.
Looking for a quality diamond at a price you can afford? Shouldn't be all that difficult. Adler's has already done the hard part for you. offering diamonds that have met their high standards for overall quality and value. The highest quality diamonds, the best possible prices, and the widest selection at Adler's. You know what you're getting because they know what they're doing. I know. I'm Newell Norman, and my family has shopped there for generations. Adler's Canal Street and the new flagship store, 2937 Vets, near Causeway, with easy parking.
In 1987, a former prosecutor named Margaret Kuhn took her dog for a walk in one of Louisiana's safest and most affluent parishes. The next morning, she was found dead on the side of the road. 34 years later, the crime remains unsolved.
No one is safe.
Listen to Gone South, Season 1, Who Killed Margaret Kuhn? A documentary podcast from C13 Originals.
So these
available on the Odyssey app or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Is your retirement plan out of tune? Learn how to get yours in tune with the First Security Financial Show. Join host David Compton Saturday morning 8 to 9 for helpful tips to retirement. The First Security Financial Show, Saturdays on WWL.
Rejuvenate your weekends with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
Hey, Homa, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Brandon Holly here. Siding, windows, even doors. ReliefWindows.com.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sinceri on the Ida Recovery Connection. From the station you turn to when it counts. WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Open Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line. 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sinceri, Michelle Demers Sinceri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We will not be on All Things Legal on Sunday morning. We preempted by the Saints Fans First Take with Steve Geller and Scott Alexander. So we won't be on, but we'll be back on next Tuesday night. So we'll be on Tuesday nights until they tell us
not to come back.
They tell us not to come back. We've had enough of you. Also, a lot of what we talk about today is you can always go back to our Facebook page. We have the podcast saved, so you can. We forgot to do the first 40 minutes.
Not we.
I did. Didn't press the button, but so you can go to our Facebook page and you can listen to that. Also, we have a website. It's called IdaHurricaneClaim.com. It has a bunch of blogs written in. Now, Coach Marion's going to get mad at me in Bucktown language, meaning simple to the point, get you to point A to point B.
Why can't you just say layman?
Yeah, same deal.
No,
layman,
very different.
No, it is. We don't waste words. We don't, we get to the point and say it very simply and very straightforward.
I've never seen anybody such want to be a wannabe.
That was me. So,
I'm sorry. I just have to keep saying that.
You have to keep saying that. You want to do that. You're gonna upset John Blanchard.
Why?
Because he accepts me in his Bucktown. John Blanchard and
I know John Blanchard
and the great the crew. Also, our friend Michael Pichon, who's our new CPA. Michael, I wasn't supposed to say his last name. I said too late. He texted us a few things that have to do. It said, FYI, the employee retention credit repealed for the fourth quarter into 2021. And he said, start making your payroll tax deposits for the fourth quarter to avoid penalties.
Is he telling that to us or just everybody in general?
Everybody in general.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's texting it to us.
He just put
I'll check my bill to see if it's just for us. He's new. So
make sure he's not just like saying, hey, listen, guys, you're late.
We're going to tell Michael, you're going to learn about Italian accounting. So,
well, there is no Italian accounting going on in our firm.
No. I'm just saying as far as, no, it's not. But it's just shoebox. No, we're not.
Oh, shoebox.
No, just kidding. There's no Italian IRS. There's no Italian accounting.
You don't have a shoe. You're famous for scanning everything.
I scan everything. Yes.
I know.
Yes, we do that. So thank you, Michael, for that information, even though I have no idea what it means. But I thought it sounded important and I'd pass it on.
You're so funny. Good thing you're not an accountant.
I don't think I would be very good at that.
I don't think you'd be.
I'm a concept person.
I know.
I'm not a buck. I need detailed people around me because if I don't, I would. I read a book about Peter Finney.
Okay.
And like they said, Peter Fenny used to like show up at the wrong place and forget what time it was.
That sounds exactly like you. And
And
you don't show up at the wrong place.
No, I know, but he had the same kind of brain because I think his father. I read it was a book on Peter, and it was on about his his 60 years in sports. But they said he was just very not absent-minded, but his mind was going in a lot of different directions at the same time. And I was like, all right, I feel better.
You feel justified?
I feel validated. And it was a great book. It was a great book.
Listen,
I was reading.
The world needs detail-oriented people, and the world needs big dreamers. So.
Well, the concept people. I know the concept. So, all right. So that's a wrap. So it'll be a week before we're back on the air on the IDA Recovery Connection. We'll be on Tuesday night from 8 to 10, and we'll be further on down the line, and we'll answer your question, respond to your text. So thank you, Michelle, for joining us. And
thank you for having me, as always.
That's right. So we'll just walk across the hall, get in bed, and look at the stars. But the insurance company says...
I'm going to dream of my new roof.
See you next week. All right. Y'all have a great week.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse, WWL New Orleans.